Dear brothers and sisters, through the Spirit of St. Augustine, this is a homily for first Sunday of Lent, Year B. Lent is a period that lasts 40 days in which Christians prepare themselves to celebrate the resurrection of Christ on Easter Sunday. Nevertheless, the catechumens prepare themselves for baptism during this very period of Lent. On this first Sunday of Lent, we read the story of Jesus' temptation in the wilderness. In essence, Lent is a period for spiritual renewal and to better our reconciliation, forgiveness, prayer, fasting, and charity. Therefore, one may pose these questions. Why was Jesus tempted and yet he was the Son of God? Why does Lent last 40 days? Why do we need Lenten period and yet the world has never improved since Lent came into being? These are some of the questions that will be fully explained in this Sunday reflection. On this first Sunday of Lent, we read the temptations of Jesus, who spends 40 days in the wilderness. First and foremost, wilderness represents the place of trial and God's revelation. On the other hand, the number 40 represents the time of preparation for something new to emerge. As put in the first reading, the floods covered the earth for 40 days and 40 nights before God established a covenant with Noah and his descendants. Again, Moses prepared himself for 40 days and 40 nights at Mount Sinai before he received the Decalogue. Again, it took 40 years for the Israelites to cross the wilderness before reaching the promised land. Finally, Jesus, as the new Moses, leads the people of God to the new promised land, that is heaven, and he spent 40 days in the wilderness to prepare himself for his public ministry. While in the wilderness, Jesus experiences three things. 1. The temptation by Satan. 2. He lived with wild beasts. And lastly, the angels ministered to him. First, the temptation by Satan. Jesus in the wilderness was tempted, but he did overcome the temptations. Indeed, temptations in themselves are not bad. However, it becomes evil when we succumb to it. Generally in life, man and temptation can be compared to a hook that a fisherman uses to fish. A fisherman puts on the hook a worm or something attractive so that the fish sees nice food, but behind that there is a hook that will trap it. Once the fish is tempted to get the nice food, it will be trapped by the hook. In life too, there are some things or opportunities that look nice and attractive that tempt us, but behind that there is a hook. What are the things that tempt us most? More often, this is how Satan uses temptations to hook and drag us to sin. Man is tempted every time and everywhere. That is why we need Christ during this period of Lent to help us overcome temptation like him. Second thing that happened to Jesus while in the wilderness was he lived with wild beasts. This peaceful coexistence between Jesus and the wild beasts makes the fulfillment of what Prophet Isaiah prophesied about the Messiah in Isaiah chapter 11 verse 6. There, Isaiah talks of the peaceful coexistence between wild beasts and human beings on condition that the Messiah is present. On the contrary, wild beasts in the wilderness represent the evil forces of which Jesus Christ did not succumb, simply because he trusted, hoped, loved, and faithfully did the will of his Father. Last but not least, while in the wilderness, Jesus was visited by angels who ministered to him, and that means divine presence. Do we have similar experiences of Jesus in the wilderness? Of course, yes. In our life, everyone is tempted through the senses and thoughts. Therefore, this period of Lent gives us an opportunity to correct, adjust, reconstruct, and renew our spiritual life. This period of 40 days helps us to renew ourselves and get ready to celebrate the Paschal mysteries with the resurrected Christ. To conclude, the Church gives us the 3 pillars of Lent, that is, fasting, charity, and prayer. Let us give up some things so as to create more time and hunger for God during this Lenten season. Amen. Have a blessed Sunday.